Wednesday morning, Wednesday afternoon, depends on where you are. And I'm just bringing it to you. Um, just thought we're gonna do this talk. And I am going to get everything situated. Could be early Thursday morning. Depends on where you are. Glad to have you coming on board. For all those that come on, as I told y'all, we'll be here today. I will probably, if I do come on tomorrow, it'll be much later. I got to be out most of the day. But I thought I'd come in here and give people a shout out, see what's going on, see what we're going to talk about it, be about it. You know, I got to figure out a topic I want to talk about today. Oh, I think I'll ask this. Yeah, I think I'll put that one out there. You can let me know what you think of it. World premiering today. Hope everybody doing good. And we're going to be here for a little while. We're going to see. So, yeah, with the whole news about Tom Thibodeau being fired, are the Knicks a dead place of destination? That's basically pretty simple. If you think they are, you may yes. If you don't, you don't. I think they need some fine tuning. I think they need to make a move, probably unload a piece or two, and get the right coach to make it work systematically. What's happening? How you doing? What's up? What's up? How you doing? How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate y'all coming through. What's up? So glad people tell me where y'all coming from. So you know, it's gonna be a real interesting situation with what they do. I got a feeling Michael Malone's gonna get the job. You know, I think it's almost epidemic, pretty much that they're going after big name. They think that hey, we may as well make that move. Glad to have people coming on through. Feel free to tell me where you're coming from. I'm trying to get all the stuff out so I can get people that's going. Screen and be acting kind of funny, but we're gonna get into it. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Where you are in the world, let me know. Hit me, and don't be alarmed because if you see the screen back and forth, I'm trying to send out all the notifications because sometimes they don't let it be known on YouTube. So just let it know. Hit up the likes. If you're coming through, please tell me where you're coming from. And if you want to talk about something, let's get into it. I am live and I am here and aware, so let's do it. Hope everybody's having a good day so far. Hope everybody's doing good, 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 good. Everybody got quiet. But anyway, so let me do some. So anyway, the Knicks, Jalen Brunson, Carl Anthony Towns. Now the whole thing with Bridges, I don't know how that's gonna go down. I'm sure they'll make another move or two. I'm looking at this as a real interesting strategic move. So they're definitely looking that they feeling themselves. Well, listen, they beat Boston and they feel like they got to figure out how to beat the Pacers. So they probably have to get what I say a unity of a team. It was a shame because I know Tiz was gonna get fired because he made the mistake of only playing 5 or 6 people deep. So it was not a good look. So it backfired. So now it's back to drawing board. But how far are you? How close are you? And if you don't think Boston and Cleveland are legit and you think you could take the Pacers, then yeah, you're making a good move. I understand it because the East could be there for the taking. All that talk about Boston being untouchable, and they got knocked out in the second round for just what I consider stupid why they lost. And Cleveland was they just a regular season put together team, so we got some interesting situations. I think it's gonna be tougher now for teams to get in because I think there's got different reps. So and it's changed. The NBA has definitely changed. So anyway, hope everybody's having a good day so far. Coming through. Tell me where you're coming from. What's going on? Did Tom Thibodeau get a raw treatment with the Knicks? Um, I can't say if he did or he didn't because again, um, you got to win, and they don't. I mean, they've been there 5 years, and so you lose to the same team twice. See, I'm a little bit funny about it in sports because I think that people don't sit there and let you sit there like they used to. Used to sit there decade on decade. That's why I'm looking at the Buffalo Bills kind of funny because sooner or later something got to give with that. You know, and it used to be only in hockey. Now they turn them over. Now they turn them over in football. They turn them over in basketball. They turn them over in baseball. Don't let you sit there 20 years with a runner-up or an appearance unless you're the Yankees. But that's there's just certain things. It's just like okay, you got to win. So that's the name of the game. So what's happening? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Anybody want to come through and got something they want to comment on? Feel free. Looking forward to conversation. So let's get into it. See a lot of views out there. Just a matter of people coming in and just tell me where you're coming from and what's on your mind. And hello. So we'll just go from there. Hopefully it's a nice Wednesday wherever you are in the universe. Hope everything is going good. So anyway, here for a minute. It depends on how many people come through. If I get a pretty good amount, we'll be on for an hour. If not, I'll cut it to half. Just want to see what's up. Appreciate the one who hit that like. Thank you. Keep hitting those likes up. What's happening? How you doing? Appreciate you coming through today. Thank you very much. Got more people coming through, so that's all good. So yeah, hope everybody's having a good day. Hope everything's going all right out there in your universe. Hope your world is filled with prosperity and that things are going well. So good. Thanks for the next like too. Appreciate you. Where you coming from today, if you don't mind me asking? Appreciate you. It's always good to have new faces, new places, and welcome it. And if you like the channel and the videos, feel free to tell your friends. And more people get in, continue to grow. Because I'm here to tell you that appreciate it. Thank you. If I told you I had this hat for about, what is it? I've had this hat for about well over 10 years. And it was just kind of like an odd one, but I thought, you know what? I can make it into something. So that's what I ended up doing. So I'm going to make that thing into something. So thank you very much. I believe in having a trademark. So if you watch my videos and you come on to subscribe, you'll notice I have different hats. That's one of my trademarks. Today I just got through doing some videos. I had basically taking care of some inside business. Tomorrow I'm out and about, but today just taking care of some business. Tidy up some personal stuff that had to get tightened up. So a lot of some stuff is just home base. So it all depends on the day. And I thought I'd come on today. It seemed like a good day. Uh, Conversations and in places, and so just you know, so that's what I decided to do today. And yourself, what's up with you? And anyway, yeah, so that's what's going on. But this whole thing with the Knicks came out yesterday, last night, day before, and it was like we was talking about it. There was a lot of chatter about it, so I wasn't surprised he got fired. I figured it was gonna be tough for them to keep him around because of what happened, and you know. So, but the Knicks have a good chance to make a statement. They're Jalen Brunson, Carly Towns. They got to make one more move. Can they make that move? If they can make that one more move, they might could do something. But they got to figure out who is the piece that they can move. So it's gonna be interesting. Um, if you're a Knicks fan, but it's gonna be tough because I don't think Boston's gonna have a hard year without Tatum. That's gonna be big. What kind of move do they make? So it's gonna be a lot of interesting questions when we get to the off season. But in the meantime, just talking about this New York thing, this was pretty fresh. So anyway, but other news going on. I almost was thinking about doing a story about 50 Cent, but I was reluctant. I didn't want to touch 50. So we gonna talk about different things. Anyway, it's been kind of quiet in here. I'll probably be on fly unless, of course, people come through. I'll probably be on the low key today. It's not gonna seem like it's gonna be bombarded with a lot of day to day. Sometimes I come on live and it's a lot of folks and they got a lot of comments and it's good. And some days it's kind of stagnant. So it all depends on which way we get it. Just checking up some mails and some stuff. So that's what's up. So just kind of in a mellow mood today though. So anyway, yeah, that's the big thing. I mean, basketball is taking over the final starts. I'm looking forward to that. I like OKC to win the chip, but I wouldn't be surprised. The Pacers are a good enough team that it could be a 1 year wonder. I don't know. Either way, it does wonders for both parties. If Shea Grass Alexander wins, it puts his legacy up exponentially to the point where he can only continue to go up. If Tyrese Halliburton wins, it does wonders for him. So it's a win-win for both. So anyway, you're just tapping into that today. That's all. So we got some videos up. We got some stuff up. So we just kind of just in chill mode going at it. That's the nice thing about live streaming. Going different directions and phases. Of course, I've been keeping up with the Diddy court case. That was an interesting exchange. Some things, what I'm saying, there's some things that are landing, some things aren't. I still don't think it's Rico. I still think it's Frico. And I still think that there's not that's unless of course something dramatically happens the next 2 3 weeks, he's got a good chance to get out of it. A lot of it. So that's gonna be interesting how that unfolds. Mm. So we're just keeping up with the things like that. What's going on in the news with the whole tariffs and Trump and that whole thing and Elon Musk. So we're just kind of chilling. We're pretty laid back today. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm just kind of like just gonna scour around. So it's one of those kind of days, like I said before, people just kind of like into their thing. But like I said before, I got the videos up, and I will be eventually putting a podcast where the videos that people don't get to see live, they'll be coming, so you'll get to look at them all in totality and the questions being asked, and the things going on. So I might work on that today or the next couple of days. But in the between time, in the meantime, just take a note. Just wait and see if anybody wants to come through, got any questions to ask, and we're just running some ideas. So we just in chill mode. Sometimes people come on, like I'll be on for like 15, 20 minutes, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom. So we'll see. We will see. I'll get a few minutes before I decide what I'm gonna do. And like I said, it's interesting takes though. Just waiting to see if anybody comes through. Probably get another 10 minutes. Sure, people got a busy day and a lot of stuff on the itinerary. It's hard to believe it's the middle of the week already. You know summer's coming because it starts to go by in a fly. You're sitting up there thinking, wow, where did it go before it started? June is a fast month, notorious, obviously. Unfairly, because, like, if you get out of school, half of your June is over, all the holidays and everything. take a minute just to see if anybody's out there. Let me look. Don't see nobody out there doing nothing, so we're gonna see what's up. See what I got. Yeah, I gotta write down some notes. Got a video too. I got lined up. So when people don't come through, I go back to work and I got videos I'm working on. So it's okay. I got stuff I gotta do. I be inspired. I'll come through direct when they come through. Trying to get stuff done. So I got that to do. Trying to think what else that just hit me in the head. There was something. So him. Hmm, just in chill mode. Chill mode today. I think I covered all that on that. So there may be two, but that'd probably just be one more. I don't know. We'll see. There was something that caught my attention, but I can't think. I caught what I wanted to catch. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna be on here for about a few more minutes, and then we got another vote in. Yeah. Everybody so far is going for the Knicks to say, okay, I get it. I got no problem with it. I think that they got a chance. I think if Boston loses some parts, the East is open. So hey, why not? The East is allowing the dream. I think the West after OKC is pretty much open too. We have NBA parity and excuse me. So why not? So anyway, I'll be on for a few more minutes. It looks like there's not much gonna be on today. So like I said, to those who are catching it afterwards, I'll probably be back on Friday. I'm not gonna come back tomorrow. Got stuff to do. I'll just be working on the lab, working on some videos. And that's what's up. But yeah, you never know how it goes. Sometimes you catch people coming through, sometimes you don't. So I generally like to come around the same time if I can. chill mode, and we just gonna be laid back. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the weather's like wherever you are, so I hope everything's going good. You know, like I said before, spring comes and goes, the late spring, so it all depends. So anyway, pretty nonchalant so far. It's been one of those situations where, yeah, it's been a pretty cool day. Okay. So I pretty much got a couple more minutes before I'm gonna be on. I don't think I'll catch nobody today, but I did come through. And so when people ever asked, said like, "Were you on?" I said I was on, and I was trying to see if anybody wanted to have conversation, see what it was about. So I came through. I came through loud and clear, and we had, got some views, but you know, so four votes, all 25% saying okay. It's only one person that's saying that they don't think it is a destination. Okay. Do I think it's a destination? I think they gotta make a trade. I think they gotta try to get somebody like Giannis or somebody like that, and then they gotta get a deeper bench. They gotta go 8, 9 deep. Then we can talk. Brunson's gotta stay healthy. Cat's gotta stay healthy, play better defense. It's just things they gotta do in between. New York just basically, like I said before, that's that beating Boston is what got them. This is why Tibbs got fired. The same thing that made him win, the same thing that got him let go. So expectations now. So they want to bring some hype back to New York. What's happening? How you doing? Thank you for coming through. Hope you're having a good day so far. Thank you. And if you're coming on, please tell me where you're coming from. Appreciate you coming through. Let me know where you're coming from. Hit that like up. And if you want to take the poll, hit the poll. Poll's going pretty good actually. Hello, how you doing today? And Lewis, thank you for coming through. I'm doing good. Thank you for coming through. I'm glad to have you on board. Thank you. You have a great day. Thank you for taking the time out to come through. And if you'd like to ever introduce yourself or what interests you like, feel free. I welcome the conversation or interaction. It's all good. It's always good to have somebody new come through, and it's good energy. So thank you. It's definitely appreciated. Thank you. That's the nice thing about when people come through, because sometimes you don't even know who's watching, and then when they come through and they make their comments felt, and then you have good interactions, it's really good. And for the most part, we're getting it right now. We've gotten away with the trolling and all the obscenity vulgarity, so we're keeping it more to adult where we have good conversations, very healthy and very dignified. So yeah, I just like I said, I came here, make sure we get everything straight. Hmm. So thank you, Linda Lewis, for coming through. Just for that, I think I'll be on for a couple more minutes. I'll give it probably about 4 or 5 more minutes. I needed that. That was a good jolt. Always good to get good energy. So I'm going to give it a couple more minutes and then I will call it a day. So appreciate everybody that's come through today. And by all means, if you'd like to have comments and conversation, feel free. I welcome it. If I do come on tomorrow, it'll be later, so I don't know. I got stuff to do the rest this week, so it's iffy tomorrow. Possible late Friday, definitely Saturday. That's the plan, and possibly Sunday. So those are the plans, tentatively. So we'll see what we got. We'll be on for a couple more minutes. We'll see. Like I said, I'm glad the people that have come through today, and it's been pretty good. Have some commentary. It's always good to meet some new friends and new faces, new friends, new places, new ways, new things to say. Keep on continuing to hit that smash up that like. And if you want to take the poll, feel free to take the poll. And if you'd like to give any commentary, feel free to give commentary. It's things I definitely look forward to seeing. So it's a good day so far. So we're gonna be here. Mm-hmm. And again, if you don't catch it live, I'll put it back on the podcast. I'll do that from time to time. So I'm just kind of like waiting, for a couple of things before I decide to wind it down. I figure a good half hour, and you pretty much know if anyone's gonna show up. That's the one thing, and I don't know if the notifications go out and how people respond. Sometimes you get it nonstop, sometimes you don't. So I will give it a few more minutes. I'll make it even 40 minutes. doing today? How you doing? That's an interesting name you have. Got my attention with that one. But it's real popular in these streets though. So, but anyway, how's your day going? How you doing? I'm doing all right. I'm on a good day. Just was on here for a little while. Thought I'd take some commentary, see if anybody want to take the poll, and they wanted to hit the like, and then they would tell me about where they're coming from, where they are, and just conversation. Just conversation. Just stuff to speak on. See if anybody had anything that was on their mind. I come through here a few times a week, so it's good to meet new faces and new places. My head, I'm not showing my head. I got my hat, but thank you though. If you said you loved it, I like what's inside my head though. But thank you though. I haven't had that one said before. I love your head, but thank you though. Appreciate it. Thank you. Like I said, hope everybody's having a good day and everything's on the up and up. Hope everybody's staying blessed and having a good day. So we're just here for a few more minutes and we're gonna go from there and then we'll see what we got. So I'm just waiting to see if anybody got anything they want to say. Tell me where you come from, a conversation, and we go from there. And what's going on in the news and what's going on in your part of the world and all that. So I'll give it a couple more minutes before I think I'll make it official. Barring somebody makes conversation that wants to talk, that's okay. Appreciate the people that came through today, though. Thank you. 83% saying yeah. That New York Knicks thing really hit, so that's pretty impressive. I hadn't even thought about. I'll probably would this have more often for live streams. Anyway, what's up? Your timing is perfect because I'm gonna be on for 20 more minutes. I've been on for a half hour, so you came at the right time. I was just about to bounce because there was nobody. It wasn't a lot going on. It's pretty sporadic. So, so your timing is perfect. So if you want to talk for 20 more, let's do it. I gotta make sure I make it count. I got your message, and so I just been on. That's a good question. I would say in the R&B, but not in the pop. But R&B, I'd make a case for her. She had her own doll. She had a successful TV show, successful music career, film career. But she didn't quite blow up instantly adult, not fully. if I go by where she was in the '90s, she was definitely on her way, but she didn't have that it. She wasn't the it R&B girl. Aaliyah had something. Monica had something. I don't know, but it wasn't until really like Lauren Hill had an it. Beyonce got an it. You know, so she should have though. I mean, if you looked at her career, you know, but an R&B icon is different than a pop icon, and I might have to do a video about that because they mean different things. As R&B, you know, you gave me a good idea. I'm gonna use that for a future live that I do because I can name a lot of acts that are more R&B icon than they are pop, but they were big though. Mary J. Blige. That's a that for me. That's a no brainer. Mary J. Because I mean, she dominated. She came out with those two records. I mean, like she could have just stopped after the My Life album and rocked because no one was doing what she was doing. I heard Miss Chalet had came out with the R&B hip hop thing, but she didn't hit it like Mary did. Mary hit that thing. Mary hit that thing. You wasn't mistaking her for Tony Braxton. You wasn't mistaking her for Mariah Carey. You wasn't mistaking her for Salt and Pepper Records, R&B Queen of R&B hip hop soul, and it is R&B. They all an offshoot of R&B. So when you say that, that's all R&B. That is all considered R&B music. That's why it was R&B. That's what R&B ended up becoming because you had a variation of acts that took R&B with hip hop. You take what Teddy Riley did with New Jack Swing. That's all the same thing. So she was the female version of it, just like R. Kelly was the male version of it. So there you go. You know, and then R&B groups that hit like that was like Jodeci. So, but Mary hit hard. Mary had her moment, and I'll give her that. I like her hits after Family Affair. I like her hits, but I ain't never listened to a Mary album all the way through since '99. I stopped tripping on her albums. Yeah, but the first two, she was big time. Was had quite the career too. Mm-hmm. They always try to tell me that Brandy's some kind of vocalist Bible, but I like Monica better. Monica moved me more, but Monica never got the right material though. Brandy did neither. They kind of cancel each other out. So when the boys' mind was a huge hit, that was the apex for both of them. Yeah, y'all just talk about her being a vocal Bible. And I'm like, are y'all tripping? Y'all up here acting, they up to try to make like, cause she was in a movie with Whitney Houston, like she was gonna be some, like she looked up to. I said, you ain't no Whitney. You got a decent voice. You're good. But see, well, I grew up with black female singers like Stacey Lattisaw Jackson and Evelyn Champagne King who sing circles around Brandy. So yeah, I just don't get the hype. But she was catchy for what she was able to do. I liked I Wanna Be Down. sitting up in my room. She had a few that I like, but nothing that I go break my neck over. Baby Baby was cool. I like that one. I like the groove of that. She worked with this guy named Kipper Jones for this funk group called Quick, and I like the groove on that. But it was because of the groove. Aaliyah, because R. Kelly did the first record alone, and Brandy ain't got no back and forth in her catalog. She ain't got nothing seen no age ain't nothing but a number or at your best remix. And I think if R. Kelly don't mess that up with him and Aaliyah, they could have been like the Jamie Lewis, Janet Jackson thing, because that was the best musical marriage she had. Sorry, I know one in a million, but that was all because of the beat. And with Missy and Tim and all that, that stuff was alright. That was for the beat. But her best records were with R. Kelly. So I like parts of it, but that's more for the production. I thought she did her best music with R. Kelly though. She got more into the producer's chair when she worked with Timberland and Missy. But with R. Kelly and her, they had like that was musical chemistry. Uh, his case is starting to kind of be. I don't think it's Rico. I think it's Frico. I don't think it's Rico. So people can say what they want. I think his case is more Frico than it's Rico. But that's funny though. Did he do it? What's happening? What's happening? Oh yeah, what's happening? I agree with you. Glad to have you on time. This it's all true. I'm not caught up in all that. I'm watching Elon Musk get that Will Smith special, but it is tied together though. There are some stuff that's going on. There's a lot of things being done. A lot of stuff got allowed to be done. So we'll see how it plays out. But anyway, Charlene, I used to have Aaliyah's second one. I had her records, but I never cared for her stuff the same after she worked with R. Kelly. I just thought that was her heyday. I still had people come up singing "Age Ain't Nothing But a Number" and "At Your Best" the remix. Because I remember when I was watching ATL, it just hit. That's all. Time is always on time. Okay. 86% saying New York is the destination. I like her voice, but I just don't really feel her material. And I think as long as she's been around, I ain't really heard nothing that's knocked me out. I think she's a good all around entertainer. Dare I say she's kind of like the black version of Kelly Clarkson, even though she had a bigger career to start off. But I just don't quite, I don't really, I think her show is cute. I think her material is cute. I just don't really get that thing out of her. She's alright. Uh, Voice wise, I say Aguilera, but better use of it, I say Beyonce. Oh yeah, Whitney was no joke, and no one's touching Whitney, as far as I'm concerned, peak and prime the last 40 years. She has a nice tone, but she lacks soul. She can sing, she just don't have no. It don't hit like she thinks. Sometimes she be thinking she's doing a little. semi pseudo funk workout and it just don't really groove. Celine had a nice tone. I like her for her tone, but she can't see no Whitney Houston. And if you're gonna mention a white female singer, there's well Streisand comes up, but the one that's my favorite of all time, well, one of them is Karen Carpenter. So we're gonna go white female singers. You gotta start with Karen Carpenter and work your way to Patsy Cline and Streisand. Celine Dion can sing and she has a nice range, but it's kind of like porcelain. It don't really hit me. It's just something about it that kind of I don't know. Yeah, that goes out saying as far as I'm concerned. I can't emphasize that enough. Don't try it. I give it a slight pinch to Mariah, but I like Celine's tone better. Mariah can sing, but when she whistles too much, but I'm not blown away by it. I think they good for what they do, but they cocktail lounge. They limited. And Mariah don't never really give me enough. She's alright. Yeah, see, it's like come see, come out. They both basically cancel each other out. So there you go, Tom. See, you talking my story. There you go. Well, you know, Mariah ain't seen no many no Denise, so that go without saying. Anita was in her lane. Winbush, Regina Bell, Shaka Khan, Natalie Cole, Phyllis Hyman, uh, Angela Bofield. I can name them ones. Okay, we're gonna go there. I'll go there. Denise LaSalle, while you John Betty Wright. Okay, I'll go there. I'll go there. Minnie, and Denise run circles with Mariah. I like Shantae more, but she gets caught on that gimmick at note, and she never gets any material that really brings her up to date. So Denise Williams, I know. Denise is from with a C. What with that is? She's Denise is from Gary, Indiana. She's from Michael Jackson hometown. Shantae can blow. Shantae still hits those notes on stage. She married to that dude who used to be on BET. Well, we didn't go back that far. Well, yeah, of course, I love Gladys. Listen to Gladys the other day. She just had a birthday. She just turned 81. But we ain't gonna go all the way into that. We just talked about the names that Charlene was mentioning. I won't bring up everybody because I bring up everybody. Somebody gonna get their feelings hurt. Faith. Kiki can sing, but Kiki be trying to do gymnastics a bit. Faith got range. Faith just again, a lot of these artists don't have the right material or they don't have the personality to pull it off. That's the problem. Kiki tried to be deeper and she's good, but she ain't. She don't hit me like Faith though. You know. And besides, we start talking about what I consider the second, third tierish there anyway. Mm, Cause that's kind of like you good, but you ain't in the main side of the road. I liked it for that, but I wasn't that big. I don't care if well, I can do ambidextrous. I don't care about what hand she is. I just don't think she's not a. To me, she's more of a third tier artist, second tier singer, third tier artist, Faith. And so I don't really, when you ask me questions about artists that they had a moment, but it ain't somebody that I sweat. Kiki White ain't somebody I sweat. Avon ain't somebody I sweat. Avon is decent in a third tier R. Kelly ish, Junior Whoppish way. And if I wanted a broke version of R. Kelly or someone that's a tier below R. Kelly, I'd probably go with Joe. Okay, because Avon is like those Junior Whopper R. Kellys, like Trey Songz, Avon. Avon's a good singer, but he, you know what's coming next. Out of those guys that you mentioned, Hendrix and Womack, the other ones I'm not feeling as guitarists. McCartney more of a bass player. Cobain was more of a songwriter with the guitar. Womack is underrated, and Hendrix is a standard. So I wouldn't say. I like John B as a songwriter. He's a good singer. Arrangement, production, just kind of there. He's just one of those guys that it was trying to be too cool, and it just kind of stayed there. Got talent, but don't have the. You gotta have the songs. Feels just like yesterday when to love somebody to love came with him and Babyface. I remember that just like yesterday. He was in more ways than three. He was part of the Soul Stirs, his gospel. He toured with him. He played with him. He wore his clothes and he messed with his wife. Never mind. He was a little too close for comfort. And if you ever watch the movie Cotton Comes to Harlem, there's a scene there that depicts all that. Yeah, Al Green. Yeah, they all from the gospel tree. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Al Green guitar and high records. Al's big as a house now, though. Yeah, they had a groove that you could shop bop to. Did you see the? I think it was the Johnny Gill cookout. Anthony Anderson, Jeffrey Osborne was there with Cedric the Entertainer. They were singing. Had the mic. He had open mic. Jeffrey O was singing. He still sounds good. Still takes care of himself. So yeah, it's funny you mentioned Jeffrey Osborne because I saw that. That was good to see. Hmm. They just had this kind of like heavy groove to it. Do 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 do. It's on YouTube. I just think that what you're exposed to, that's all. Yeah, he was big back then. He still pretty much almost looks the same. He's still playing. I seen footage of him playing. Do rolls. Yep. Billy Paul was kind of like he could sing all right, but he was kind of like your grandma's music. Lou Rawls was too, but Lou Rawls had a coolness about it. So that's a no-brainer. They interesting. They both were on Philadelphia International too. Both hit. Oh, I'm not gonna go through everybody left-handed. I like Lou. Lou was something else though. Yeah. Harold Melvin, Blue Notes. Yep. Hmm. Yeah, I miss you was a nice. That was a soft cut. That cut was the truth. Yep. Dream Merchant was my cut. Very distinctive tone, very distinctive groove. That they out of Detroit. Eric Beignet, I think Tyrese did a remake of it with. He did a remake of it. Hmm. Wasn't bad. I think they're out of Canada and Michigan. I forgot. They were catchy. Okay. We definitely done good here. This is really good. This is better than I thought. I didn't think I was gonna be able to make an hour with everybody on what was going on, but it worked out really well. So this is cool. It's turned out to be really good. Appreciate Tom coming on, Charlene coming on. New Birth was catchy. I like their harmonies. I like their musicianship. It's just that there was so many freaking tight bands back then. Earth, Wind, Fire, Ohio Players, Barcades, Parliament Funkadelic, Ozzy Brothers, Cool in the Game, Tower Power. You had so much going on, and you had to get in where you fit in. So, I'm just saying, that was an era to be spoiled with. Average White Band. I can name so much. Just incredible era of musicality and so much going on. So, yeah. Brian, we appreciate everybody being on today. This has been good. This definitely been on point. Appreciate everybody coming through today. Thank you all. Good conversation as usual. Good questions as usual. Definitely helps out. It's like a little part of the day. Can't quite get it, but it was in it. I guess I'll say Dirty Diana because the only thing about the pressures I like the chorus. That's all. Ding 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 ding, and that was it. Didn't really do much for me. Dirty Diana had a nice groove. Michael sounded good on the track. Like the storytelling had that frantic pulse that was trademark of his. The only thing about Precious, I like the little ding 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 ding. The chorus was catchy, but it didn't really do much for me as a song. No, Beat is gonna win that. Either way, Michael's for the W. I mean, they both had storytelling. They both worked better. Pressure just sounded like a song that it was kind of like something they just kind of did. It wasn't one of my favorite Queen songs. Queen's got some songs that definitely, tear you behind up. That wasn't one of them. I thought it was decent. So, anyway, I think I got a few more minutes before I'm gonna call it a day. I'll be on for a few more minutes. And like I said, if I don't come on tomorrow, and if I was to come on tomorrow, it'd be like an hour later from now, and I doubt anybody would be on. Because by the time I get back, but maybe Friday, definitely Saturday. But I have been back on the last two straight. What's that story? What's that story? So anyway, I'll be off. Well, I got a couple more minutes. I'll play on for a couple more minutes. And eventually I'll get this thing where I put this on the podcast for those who don't. This isn't live time. So I'm on for a couple more minutes. So we had a pretty good day today. It was just pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Glad for the ones that came through today. Again, appreciate it when they came through. And it's good to have people coming through. And it's always good energy. So I appreciate it when they came through. Yeah. I mean, she was an attractive woman and she was all right actress, but she wasn't like because she passed at 36. That's the folklore. That's part of it in a nutshell. Yeah, I'm gonna go in just a little bit because I've been on it for a while and changed, and so I'm gonna go in just a little bit. But yeah, I'd say she was. I mean, she had, but it's so much mythicism with her, though. You know, she was all right as an actress. She wasn't better than Dorothy Dandridge. She was all right. She had charisma, but again, so but she definitely was she was interesting though. Yeah, I agree. I agree on both of them. Different lanes though. Diane Carroll was bad, but with style, charisma. Pam was more rhythmic, so it was a different type of thing. But they both was bad, different ways though. All right, I think I'm on. slow down now. Sinatra. And I think Astaire was bad, but Sinatra. Because Sinatra, film, TV, music. And if you know anything about the music business, Reprise Records was his label. Astaire was bad, but Sinatra was plus with the mob. So that's a whole nother story matter. Next time we come on, we can get into that if you like. Say that question. I will tell you more. But Sinatra carried more weight. And if you ask people who they run to, they're going to tell you Sinatra. That's not to say that Astaire wasn't bad. It's just that Sinatra hit a little bit different, though. It's a matter of choice and opinion, but ain't nobody touching Sinatra, though. I'm not even going to, if you know about how the game go, it's Frank Sinatra. I like Fred Astaire. Don't get it twisted. But Sinatra did all that too. He wore the hats. He wore the clothing. He ran. He had a record label. He had the mob. Make me an offer they can't refuse is based on Frank Sinatra. So Fred Astaire does not have anything that's iconic to that. And I like Fred Astaire, and he was big for his time. But Frank Sinatra was a standard. Roberta Flack, even though Nina Simone moved me more. Roberta Flack, and they hit in different ways. Like them both, but they hit in different ways. And I appreciate people's opinions and stuff. I'm not before we go into it, anyone looks at this and think, "Oh, you just no." But Sinatra, if you understand what he ended up doing, and yeah, because I also take the Rat Pack and think about the impact with Sammy Davis Jr. Think about the impact with Dean Martin, and that was completely different when he was working with Tommy James, Frank James bands in the '40s. He was a different artist, and then we ended up doing the '60s and so on with Count Basie Orchestra with Quincy Jones. I'm just saying. But yeah, I'm gonna take Roberta had the more commercial appeal. Nina had to hit you with that gut. So it all depends on which bag you're coming out of. Well, no, he also was acting. He did TV. He had the Rat Pack. He helped Sammy Davis Jr. He was one of those guys that was like a cornerstone. Quincy Jones said the four cornerstones of popular music was Sinatra, Elvis, the Beatles, and Michael Jackson, and I agreed with that analogy because Sinatra was the pinup guy. He was a standard. He had respect. That's all. Astaire was bad. I don't think nobody took his style because it was nothing to take. First of all, Billy Eckstein was around when Sinatra was, and he didn't take nothing from him. He was his own dude. Johnny Mathis was his own dude. He didn't make me think of Sinatra. It was just a different vibe. And Nat King Cole, there was nothing that made me think about Sinatra and Cole. Nat had his own thing, so no. I just dug Sinatra's tone. He had that tone. Not gonna minimize nobody. Give everybody they do. conversation got kind of live today, so that's good. Appreciate everybody. Like I said, appreciate when it come through. We definitely hit some good conversation today. We definitely, things picked up quite considerably. The better message was Young, Gifted, and Black, but the more iconic song was Respect. So again, you're asking me a question where they have good, both have strong meanings. RESPCT was a strong anthem for Soul Sisters. Young, Gifted, and Black was a strong message, period. And I think they're both strong in different ways. But Aretha made that song an anthem. So time she sang that song, you felt it. So yeah, that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. It's a good question. It's kind of like they kind of the same, but they kind of different. And RESPCT hits differently, but they both impactful. So like I said, I probably catch it. If I'm on, it's gonna be later. So if you're on, and just throwing it out there. If I'm on, I don't know if I'll be on for long as this though. By the time I get on, I'll probably half hour to an hour. It depends on how many people would be on. But then again, I haven't done a late night. I haven't done a later part. Well, good taste. Good taste. Good taste. We'll just leave it at that. We'll call it good taste. I lived in the South. I think those singers are all right. Nobody blows me away. They all right. It's kind of like Leon Bridges. I'm aware of the people singing. I don't hear nothing. No, I don't know who you are, but I don't know. But anyway, like I said, with the singers, I ain't really heard nobody that's really knocked me out. So, all right. We got another, well, good 75% for New York. Okay. That was good. I think I like that part. I like that part. Quite a few of them. Malcolm X comes to mind. Jackie Robinson comes to mind. That comes to mind. So, Harriet Tubman. There's quite a few. Frederick Douglass. Well, that's okay. It's not a biggie. Anyway, I'm gonna get ready to go because I've been on here for like almost an hour and a half, and I definitely appreciate you taking the poll. Yeah, Malcolm X, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass. There's quite a few. quite a few. Quite a few. We've not gotten their due. So I always tell people to read up on them. If you don't know about them, read up on them. You'll see that wasn't that long ago, and you'll see that we still got a long ways to go. So that's kind of how I look at it. Anyway, stay blessed, stay woke, stay free, stay true. I may come back tomorrow. Question mark tomorrow. Question mark Friday. 1 or 2. Definitely back on Saturday. So stay tuned. Appreciate all the comments and the thoughts. Glad to see everybody coming through. The well wishes. And I'm going to be doing some more videos. So if you want to check out my video and comment on that, feel free by all means. Because the videos will be there.